Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for attending OneSource's IT Spotlight series webcast. My name is Kirk Waddell. I'm the Executive Vice President of Technology here at OneSource and have been with the company for about 20 years. With me today, I'd like to introduce Paul Moline, who is the Chief Information Officer at Lindsay Auto. Paul has over 30 years of IT experience around software development, infrastructure, and leadership. Since joining Lindsay Automotive in 2002, Paul has been responsible for managing IT and security for all 1,059 employees, 800 endpoints, 1,100 phones across 14 locations. Paul, I'm just tired reading that introduction with all that with that scope of responsibility, but thank you for joining us today.
Oh, thank you. Go ahead.
So today our discussion is going to be around surviving a cyber attack and the toll it can take on a business and what we can do to prevent from being a victim. To provide some background, Lindsay Automotive experienced a breach on April 23rd, 2018. And so today we want to hear the real life experience of what that was like for the organization, the toll it took on the organization, and obviously the lessons learned from having gone through a breach of that magnitude. So Paul, I know as we were preparing for this webinar, you took me through the events back in 2018, and I can still see that they still very much resonate with you today. So for our audience, why don't you just tell that story, take us through the chronology of events that took place back in 2018, that up until the point of when remediation was started after the breach was identified.
It was an easy day that day, but then standing in the showroom getting ready to leave, and you see a machine blue screen, and someone come telling you that their machine blue screen. You just think, okay. You walk over, you see 2, 3, 4, 5 more all doing the same thing. Then your phone starts blowing up. I have 2 other IT guys, 2 coworkers that work with me. They start calling me saying that they're getting calls, and within an hour we realized we had a lot of trouble. So we started shutting stores down, shutting machines off, everything in the store, even the ones that hadn't blue screened or been infected. At the end of the day, we had turned off over 400 machines. We started cleaning them one by one, which is what we knew how to do. The most desperate thing, just go in, clean them, turn them back on. We did that for about 5 days. We were just about finished with 3 stores. We're going to bring up another store over the weekend, and you turn around and the whole entire place is blue screening again. So at another store, somebody had turned on their machine, got tired of waiting for us, and it just came right back. At that point, you're working 18-hour days cleaning machines, and you just hit rock bottom. You tell yourself, I was a coder for 20 years before I got into the IT business, and you hit a lot of walls in coding, but you can always find your way around it. You can, even pre-Google, you could always find an answer. I had never, ever in my career hit a brick wall until this day. I walked into an office, I shut the door, and I didn't know what to do. And I had, 5 stores, or an entire company, 9 dealerships, 4 body shops, 2 service facilities, all shut down. When one store alone is making $250,000, $300,000 a day, you can do the math and you can see what it's costing our company to continue to be shut down. So it was tough. And, I didn't know what to do. But my wife, and I will tell you, my wife worked for a large international bank, and I had to pull that straw out, and I called her. And I asked her, I said, what do you guys do? There's no way you're running around like we are. And she gave me the name of their antivirus. She called them. They called me and referred me to our vendor. And 2 days later, no, the next day, they were there, and we started cleaning up. over that 2 week period, you know, you're under a lot of stress. My hair was a lot darker before that happened. That was only 2 years ago. And
And a lot fuller too, probably.
yeah, you know, our coworkers, you know, some of them, they eat to get past the stress. I starved to get past the stress. You know, didn't look too good. I lost 15 pounds in those 3 weeks, and it took its toll. But since then, we, you know, we learned a lot of lessons. We learned what we needed to do to prevent this. Um, when we were presented with what we needed to do to clean it, not just clean it up, but keep it fixed going forward, you know, you present that to your upper ups, and as a CIO, you're always trying to save money. As any
Sure.
position in the company is trying to save money. And at the end of the day, that's what bit us. You know, we saved money for all those years, and you know, you buy all this equipment, you put on whatever antivirus that comes with it, and you live by it, and it bit us. You know, we weren't keeping up with it, and when I presented to them what we needed to do to move forward and get out of it, and they didn't even blink, which made me feel worse because I probably would never even had to been in that situation had we gone down that road earlier. You know, the best thing I learned out of it is I spend hours every week looking forward versus just trying to fix what's happening now. I'm always trying to see what's coming and see what I can stop before it gets into us again. You know, you read all these articles about what happens and you think it's never going to hit us. We're small. You know, we're just a little car dealership. What do they want from us? But they don't care. They don't even know who you are. You know, they want whatever they can get out of you, be it, you know, $50,000, $1 million, or be it your banking ID and password. I mean, they'll come after everything.
Yeah, it's something we talk about internally all the time. I mean, the hacking industry has turned into really a $2+ billion sophisticated industry. These are no longer players, sitting in mom's basement, searching IP addresses. These are very sophisticated organizations, to your point, that have increased their scope on the data mining that they're doing. And I think you bring up a great point. I think so often many of our customers think, why would they want my information? I'm too small. I think you alluded to it a little bit, Paul, but now in hindsight, thinking about that, what was some of the information that was privy there that really you'd never considered before until post breach?
Um, what what we weren't doing was making sure all our machines were updated. The machines that didn't get attacked were current machines that were getting updated. Even at some point, years and years ago, everybody knows Microsoft updates are horrible. I mean, they can cause more problems than they fix. We shut updates down for a while, and just to keep the machines running at a decent speed. Well, that came back to haunt us. And because when we turned them back on, the updates were so massive that it killed our network for a while. Um, Updates, the antiviruses, everything has to be current. If you're not current and you're not staying ahead of the game, you're in trouble. And I bear the responsibility for that. Um,
Cool.
we had to work hard to get out of that hole, and thank God we were able to do it. It didn't take a day. It didn't take working 2 nights straight. It took 3 weeks for us to get back to being whole again. It was a long time.
I was going to say, yeah, I think sometimes the misnomer is that even if I have a breach, considering I have good backups, things of that nature, I can restore, in a matter of hours or maybe within a matter of a day. Uh, why don't you describe to us in a little greater detail what that remediation process was like, and how those are just false misnomers that the possibility to restore in hours or even days is just not possible when you undergo a breach of this magnitude?
Well, the first step, they took when they arrived, when OneSource arrived, was to help us try to find the origin of it and its signature, and what, before you have to know what you're dealing with in order to clean it up. So, I mean, we spent 2 days tracing it, trying to find the origin into the firewall, blocking ports that the command and controls that they were calling back on. And, after 2 days, they found it. They found the machine that it originated from. They found, unfortunately, they told me who clicked on it, and I really wanted to just take them outside. But, once they found it, then we began to clean up. They were able to clean the original machine. We had turned off all network shares for the whole company, which kills us. We had turned off all outside access, which kills us. We started putting everything back little by little by little, and pushing out, our new antivirus to clean every machine in the company. But we also had to go to every machine in the company and still perform a manual cleanup to make sure everything got done. It was a long, painstaking process, and the only good thing about it was it wasn't a ransomware. Had that been ransomware, which it could very easily have been versus what we had, we would have been, I might still be building machines today. I mean, who knows? It would have been bad.
Yeah, no question. So as we're concluding, Paul, one thing that you just brought up that I think is interesting, and I think it's important for our audience to know, is that it's more common than not that the origin of these attacks is initiated by an executed file by an employee within the organization. Maybe share with the audience a little bit how your posture has changed in regards to employee education, understanding the ploys of phishing attacks, things of that nature, malicious applications. And how has that changed the posture of the organization as a whole since that took place?
The employees that are here and that experience that, I mean, they learned it the hard way, where they were shut down for those week and a half. We do spend out spoofing exercises, phishing exercises from different locations. We constantly send out emails to the entire company, urging them to please. We put warnings on top of all outside emails coming in. We're doing, some emails. We also have an amazing filter that catches everything, but can't catch everything, because some stuff is just text, right? Some stuff is just saying, hey, go to 7-Eleven and buy me a card. So there's nothing malicious in there, but there's others that are malicious. And our company, we send out examples once a month, sometimes 3 times a month, of obvious phishing emails, and we highlight places in there. And I mean, that's the best part about here, is everybody pays attention, and everybody has educated themselves into, and that's 90% of the battle right there.
Exactly.
What not to click on. And if they don't know, I'll get 30 emails a day of people saying, can I open this, or can I click on that? Sometimes they get annoying, but other times you'd rather be annoyed than have to go through that again.
No question about it. At least we've created awareness, that's for sure.
Right.
So, Paul, in our final minutes here, if there's one or two takeaways that you could leave our audience with, what would that be?
Be prepared, and being prepared means you kick off whatever was on your machine. You find you can't do everything. It's just what my boss told me. He says, you can't be the end all of end all. You've got to reach out. You got to know when to call somebody. And that phone call I made, and what we put in place, the monitoring we have, the outside monitoring, because we're busy enough, and everybody who is an IT person who works in a large company, you're way understaffed and way overworked. So you can't do it all. And we have that now being monitored. We get alerts all the time that we have to respond to, but you know, it's, you can sleep at night knowing that somebody else is helping you, you know, make sure that you can go to work every day.
No doubt. Well, Paul, thank you so much for your time today. I think this has been very informative and enlightening for our attendees today. And again, um, no business is too small. No business is safe from these opportunistic threat actors that are out there. So again, thank you so much for your time today. I know it's probably a little painful to relive those events, but I think a real life scenario was important for our audience to see. So again, I appreciate your time. And to our audience today, I thank you for taking time out of your busy day to attend. You will be receiving a follow-up email after the conclusion of this webinar. So we welcome any feedback, comments, or certainly any topics that you would like for us to explore on future webinars. If you happen to miss our last two webinars, they are actually archived on our website at onesource.net. So I encourage you to go check those out. I think some really good information from our previous panelists. And I hope everyone has a great day. Please stay healthy and stay safe. Thanks, everyone.